And in 5, 4, 3, 2, it's electric football. That's Stu Pace.
Oh, these don't work.
And I'm Steve Proud. We're going to talk football. We're going to be silly, whatever we want to do, because 200 of you watch. There's 8 billion people in the world. We don't have a great percentage. Here we go. Chiefs versus Ragers.
Those Ragers.
Okay, they're going to be raging. The Chiefs will be raging because the Raiders are 0 for 16, and there's no life in them, really. The Chiefs are now looking like a dark horse Super Bowl contender. They were my only good pick last week, and I'm going to ride the Charles and Davis Express. It's a crappy game, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I kind of wish Cheers and Night Court was still on Thursday night because it beats the NFL matchups for the most part. Googlies bring their tied for number 1 in the division record against Tony Soprano's led Lambs to the slaughter, and I initially thought the Raiders could put up a fight here, but I don't think they do. The Chiefs' running game will so kill the clock that the viewer's interest will die along with the clock. Chiefs have a chance to be alone at the top of the division for at least 48 hours, 72 hours. Chiefs.
It's kind of amazing in a passing league how important the running game has been for teams like the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Seahawks. When they're playing good, they're controlling the ball on the ground, even though you have the gaudy passing stats. Anyway, Browns, Falcons, two teams that are not playing particularly good. Falcons now lead the NFC South at 4-6, and they seem to only win by having teams miss field goals at the end of the end of the game. It seems to be their strategy. Let's let them get really close and then muff a kick.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy world. I like the Falcons in this, based on a clearer offensive philosophy and just sort of a clearer pecking order. They know who their quarterback is. They know who their top wide receivers are. I think the Falcons actually go on a little roll here.
Yeah, I don't think that Hoyer and the Cleveland Browns offense really has the horses to stay with the Falcons here. It's really a coin flip game for me. I'm taking the home team, but I just can't believe the Falcons in first place with that record. Jeez, unbelievable.
All right. Titans versus the Eagles. And the Titans played the Steelers tough, but I can't see the Eagles not getting it back on track. They were very upset with the way they played against the Packers. They were embarrassed. It was over early. A lot of games this season have been over early. It has not been a great television football season as far as I'm concerned.
Not on the nights.
Anyway, I look for massive quarterback pressure from Philly early. I look for them to be sending blitzers like crazy. I think they take the Titans hard right in the start of this game. Just like their heart was ripped out by Green Bay. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, last night was the Battle of the Burgers, Bob Burgers, I guess. Big Ben won over Zach Mettenberger. This would, rank as a blowout if not for a little guy named Franchise. He can consistently kill you with his ill-advised passes, and what the hell happened to Shady McCoy? Eagles keep the Titans to a few points here and win this with defense and a lot of Sproles.
All right. Lions versus the Pats, probably one of the premier games this week, I should say.
I would think so.
And, the Lions have a Sue, but the Pats have a Gronk, which are some really combustible materials that are going to be meeting on this field. I am now officially, and if somebody wants to send me a free one, I'm now officially a Rob Gronkowski fan. He did a little thing with Rodney Harrison before the game, and they were showing techniques, and it was impressive. And Gronkowski was funny. And then in the game, he takes Sergio Brown and just freaking plants him into the camera stand.
He's a big boy.
Then you can see him go by Belichick like, and he's doing the yappy thing. And I didn't realize that Sergio Brown evidently was the guy that broke his arm on that special teams play.
Oh.
But he did not like that Sergio was yapping. And then, I don't know I think it was his next catch. He breaks tackles. You could just see. He was like, Gronk, smash, Gronk, no, get tackle, touchdown, Gronk. And, damn, it was fun. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. It reminded me of classic Bavaro. So I'm now officially on the Gronk bandwagon. And New England seems to have discovered the newest Jonas brother, as Jonas Gray could not be stopped. I don't think he's going to put up 4 more touchdowns.
Yeah, it's against the Colts, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, but I do think that gives them a tough running dimension that they need. And I like the Gronkians in this one.
All right. This is another game where Brady embarrasses a top-tier team, probably. Gronk eats DBs for breakfast, you said, and the Lions can't run. Watch how many picks the Pat D forces on Stafford here. That's going to be the key to the game to me. Belichick will outwit the Lions D coordinator, Terrell Austin. Patriots.
Okay. He's an old school helmet right now, and the Packers broke out the old school unis with
those minions.
With that circle. But Packers versus Vikings, and I'm afraid to admit this one won't even be a contest. Aaron Rodgers is hitting on all cylinders right now. The Vikings just don't have the safeties and the DBs. We do a good job of putting pressure on a QB, but we just don't have the secondary to stop the Acme Packers. I give the Packers this one by double digits.
Yeah, the Minions are playing like they're the best team in the league right now, and they very well could be here. The Vikings may put up a fight for a half, and then Lacy Underalls and A.A. Ron will just come out and feast on them. In the second half, I think if Blanton is the number one tackler on Minnesota, you got problems.
Who the hell is Lacy Underalls?
Eddie Lacy.
Oh, okay. I couldn't make that leap. Usually I get your leaps. That's what I couldn't make.
And your best tackler's a DB, so that's the trouble. Packers.
Jags versus Colts. And the Colts let me down again, but, Fleener takes me away to where I want to be this week. I am on that one. Enough of that, though. Even with the running game stuck without Bradshaw and stuck with Richardson, who has let down the Colts, I don't see a way that the Colts do not come back and take their frustrations out on the Jags. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, I just wrote laugh uncontrollably. Colts.
All right.
Alex,
I'll take Electric Football Show's blind spots for 1,000, please. What is the Bengals versus the Texans? Two teams that I cannot get right. And you want to talk about being a fan? If you've said to me right now, who's a guy that you're gonna tune in to watch? It's J.J. Watt. Oh my goodness! Look at his line: pass defenses, passes caught for touchdowns, forced fumbles, interceptions, touchdowns off of interceptions, touchdowns off of fumbles. What more do you want out of a guy?
And he dances.
Tackles for loss. I think he's at like 9.5 sacks. And he's double teamed every time. MVP. One of the best.
Not on a losing team.
One of the best D-line seasons you're ever going to see. Up there with Strahan's sack record, with Jaron Allen's best. Up there with the best of Reggie White. I mean, I never thought I'd say that. And two different players, don't get me wrong. I still think Reggie White's the best defensive lineman I've ever seen. But he's having that kind of a season. It's really impressive. So I'm going to take the Texans by superior wattage, if you will. I don't know what to make of the Bengals. When I say they're going to suck, they're great. When I say they're going to be great, they suck. I think they're going to suck this week. Give me the Texans.
Well, they didn't suck last week when they knocked me out of my knockout pool.
There we go.
By the way.
You're out.
I'm out.
There goes a real camera and real production values.
Yeah, Watt catches, Watt sacks, Watt intercepts, Watt coaches, Watt dances on TV. What doesn't he do? Mallett has enough talent for this Texas team to win, as long as he doesn't have to come from behind. You don't want a guy in his second game to have to catch up here, and I don't think they'll have to here. Not sure if Bernard is returning to the lineup yet on a Tuesday, but I'm going to take Houston to win by 2 here.
All right, Jets versus the Bills. And was the Steeler game for the Jets an aberration? Were they trying to save Rex Ryan's job, or have they turned a corner now that Michael Vick is the QB? I'm going to say it's an aberration. And by the way, Rex Ryan's curse cost $100,000.
Yeah.
How much did the Steeler that went leaping over on a kneel down? How much was he fined? Was he fined at all?
I have no idea, but
somebody get on that.
It's not going to be that much money.
Because that's just crazy talk. Anyway, will that spark a winning streak? If it's gonna, they need this game. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think the Jets have the talent. I still love the Bills' defensive line. They still had sacks last week. I mean, They lost, but they put the pressure on, and I expect the Buffalo Stampede to sort of run over a little Mikey Vick. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, I like the Bills' defense at home here, but don't discount the Jets as spoilers here. Bills might get Fred Jackson back, but I just hope to say that Boobie Dixon for at least another week. So Boobie Dixon is a running back. Boobie Dixon. Boobie Dixon.
Stu
Boobie.
Stu likes the boobies. And
Bills.
Dolphin, we appreciate the silly names. We're going to be doing a piece on.
That's right, 316. Thank you.
Silly football names. I'm not sure if that's going to be done today because we have some technical difficulties again.
Yeah, we don't even know what we're taping on right now.
But there we go.
Big parchment.
So thank you for the unpaid research. We appreciate it. Bucks versus Bills, and here are two teams that woke up and said, "Holy crap, we've got one really good wide receiver. Why don't we throw him the ball?" Brandon Marshall just ate up Josh Robinson for the Vikings. 2 touchdowns, won the game for him. Blah 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 blah.
200 yards.
Mike Evans unstoppable, but I think. What you're seeing, and Mike Evans is making a strong play for Rookie of the Year with his last few games. Mm-hmm. What you're seeing, though, is the Bears, with a good Cutler, have weapons like Marshall and Forte and Jeffries, whereas the Bucs right now have Mike Evans. So I am taking the Bears.
Yeah, which Cutler shows up this week? Mike Evans had over 200 yards last week, but Alshon and Marshall got back into the game, and I think they can win 2 in a row here. If only Tampa had Booby Dixon. Booby.
Or Booby Clark.
Bears.
Anyway, Cards versus Seahawks.
Game of the week.
The Cards can, let me do it. Bird fight! The Cards can pretty much lock up the division with a win, which is crazy tough.
Already 3 games up.
9-1 right now. And who'd have thought they'd be going into this game with the better D? Look at the first the preseason picks by Electric Football, and we didn't.
Yeah, you watched it. You did.
The Marshawn Lynch era seems to be imploding. Seattle seems to have some locker room problems right now, and Pete Carroll, the mellow players coach, may be in a tough spot because he can't be the disciplinarian he needs. They shipped off Percy Harvin. And it looks like they want to ship off Marshawn Lynch pretty soon.
I'll take him. Here's the address in Miami.
Yeah, I'll give you a trade. Peterson for Lynch. Straight up. Do it in a heartbeat. We can wait till Peterson starts playing again.
Yeah, really.
But, there's one I do. And I'll tell you this. If I could, I went back today and watched the play where Kurt Warner throws the interception to James Harrison that cost the Cardinals a Super Bowl. And James Harrison's interception is the best play in Super Bowl history. Yes, I know David Tyree caught a ball on his head. And there was an illegal block. If you watch the Harrison run back, one of the last blocks is clearly I'm behind you, go fly and block. But it is by far the best play in Super Bowl history, changed that game completely, and it cost my man Larry Fitzgerald a Super Bowl. And if I could wish a Super Bowl for one player, non-Viking, it would be Larry Fitzgerald.
He's quietly a great player who makes no sounds about how bad his team has been, and now it's paying off.
And I do hope that they will get this win, but I don't think they will. I think at home the Seahawks get this win and make it a more interesting division until the Cards wrap it up later.
Yeah, the only loss at home that Seattle had was when Dallas was peaking. They're 4-1 overall at home, and I don't think the Cardinals' offense is as good with Drew Stanton as it is with Carson Palmer. Hard to tell yet. It's early. I just don't feel that way. I think it's tough to pick against the mojo of the Seahawks at home here no matter what. So I'm taking the Seahawks to win, but not by much.
All right, there we go. Rams, Chargers. Whoa, horsey, whoa. The Rams put a...
that was great.
they put Rams. A whooping on the Broncos. The Chargers did not show a lot against the Raiders, coming off of a bye and then coming off of a bludgeoning by Stu's old school Dolphins. So, plus there's a little injury concern with Phillip Rivers. Is his leg going to be okay?
And he supposedly has bruised ribs for 3 weeks, so we'll see.
There you go. Yeah. But the Rams also may have found a back in Trey, the Amityville Horror Mason. I'm coining that. If he goes big, that nickname, the Amityville Horror, from right here from Electric Football.
Pay us.
And based on the way these two teams are going, I like the Rams in this one.
There's a name of a truck somewhere in Ram Charger.
There you go.
If only they played in Dodge City. Rivers has slid the last 3 weeks with supposed injuries. Mason and Britt accounted for most of the Rams' yards last week, and when they beat the Farheads in St. Louis. The Bolts need a win here to stay in contention for the playoffs, But I like what the Rams are doing, and I'm going to go with an upset of the week here. I'm taking Rams and Sean Hill for the V.
Both on electric football.
Yeah.
We've got Dolphins, we've got Broncos, we've got Stu leading off on his
If this
team.
were being played in South Florida, Miami might get a win here. The Broncos are banged up on offense. Possible Sanders doesn't play. Hillman's out. God knows what their running situation is like. Julius Thomas, whatever his name is. But it is two of the better defenses playing here. Can Miami harass Manning like the Rams did, and the Bradys? Or will we fail to get a sack while he finds Demaryius and Welker open? Goddamn Welker. Why did we ever let him go? Broncos are 5-0 at home. I'm rooting Miami, but I'm taking Denver.
Oh, we of little faith.
No faith.
Last time we both went against the I know,
recording.
but we're still going there.
Okay.
Last time we both went against the Dolphins, and look where that got us.
Yeah.
The Dolphins' D is carrying them. The Broncos lack a running game. It's kind of reminiscent of when John Elway did not have Terrell Davis, and he did not win Super Bowls, and Peyton Manning may be in the same spot. The loss of Emmanuel Sanders is huge, and I still take the Broncos.
Okay. I can't blame you. Redskins, Niners.
All right. Neither was impressive last week, but the Redskins are devolving into a really dysfunctional team. RG3 can't even give the appearance of calling out his teammates when he's coming off of injury and not playing well himself, and guys are whispering in the locker room, I don't know, Colt was playing pretty good. Yeah. He was throwing me the ball. Jim Harbaugh has gotten fat, but so have I. So I don't know if that matters to anyone other than perhaps our lives. But I was watching the game, and I saw Harbaugh out there, and I'm thinking to myself, he must have bought another 2-size waistband on those Dockers.
Stress will make you eat, brother.
Oh yeah, he's eating his emotions. But they did sneak out a win against the Eli's, because Eli did what he does every once in a while, implode and start throwing the ball directly to San Francisco linebackers. Oh, and a shout out to Chris Borland.
Okay.
No, seriously, the guy is playing. He's filling in for Patrick Willis, and he's playing at a Willis or above level, and he's just a rookie. So, very impressive couple weeks out of him, and I'm taking 49ers to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, they're returning home after beating the other NFC East doormats, the Giants, and the natives and RG are declining. Statistically, it's not a bad matchup on paper, but this game is played on grass, not on paper. So I expect the Miners to pound Gore, pass less while chasing RG3 back to the bench. I think the Niners have won the last 3, so make it 4.
All right. Cowboys versus Giants.
May I?
Yes, you may.
I'll take this one to lead. 5 interceptions. You can't do that, Eli. It reminds me of the famous prayer. You promised me, Stuart, that if I followed you, you would walk with me always. But I have noticed that during the most trying periods of my life, there's only been one set of footprints in the sand. Why? Why, when I needed you most, have you not been there for me? Stuart replied, the years when you have seen only one set of footprints, my child, is when I carried you. I can't carry you anymore, Eli. Cowboys.
Wow.
Praise Jesus.
How does one follow that? Cowboys versus Giants. The Cowboys must make sure that DeMarco Murray doesn't drown in his own saliva, because he's got to be drooling over the idea of facing the Giants defense, ranked 32nd, last against the run. They give up 4.9 a carry to regular backs, not a guy on DeMarco Murray's level. They give up 145 per game. Le'Veon Bell's single-game rushing record for this season
might be in trouble.
Maybe a short-lived accomplishment. And am I wrong? Did LeGarrette Blount get...
he was dropped today.
He walked off early because he wasn't getting enough carries. The guy in front of you is running for 209 yards, and your reaction to this is, I think I'll leave.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, I think the Steelers said, don't let the door hit you in the ass. A lot of running backs out there right now because Adrian Peterson's looking for work.
Yeah, he's available. I think Ray Rice is looking for work as well.
UPS is doing some seasonal hiring. LeGarrette Blount, you just walked away from a couple of $1 million, and you already have a little bit of a erratic history. Ben Tate, Ray Rice, there are a lot of guys that are like, yeah, I used to be an NFL back a few days ago.
True.
Anyway, getting back to this game, it's pretty easy. The Cowboys are clicking on all cylinders. The Giants have pretty much packed it in, especially on defense. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right. Final game is the Ravens and the Saints, and I hope the Saints lose every game from now until eternity. Unbeatable at home until I pick them in my knockout pool against the Bengals. The Bengals! And by the way, I'll steal a ball from that old man when I see him. Lose, Saints. Just lose.
I don't know what old man he's talking about now.
You didn't see the Bengals player Gresham threw the ball to the girl and the old Saints?
Oh,
give me that ball,
I didn't realize he was old. Yeah, didn't she eventually get that ball or
Man,
a
shut
ball?
up! You got beat out by a senior citizen.
I do like when he was doing the no move. Like,
yeah, no, you can't have the ball. He gave it to his grandson or something.
Anyway, Ravens versus Saints, and a great YouTube prognosticator who I will not name, Gio, said around week 8 and 9 that the Saints had turned a corner. Yeah, they turned a corner, ran right into a mugger, and got knocked out. So their last two have been horrible against the 49ers and the Bengals. And what you come up with here is, right now, I'll say this, might sound crazy, and the stats may not even back me up completely, but Joe Flacco is having a comparable season to Drew Brees. Brees has more yardage, but they're really having, and Brees is a little more consistent, a little higher percentage passer.
Yeah.
But as far as key plays and as far as winning games, they're really having a comparable season.
Well, Brees had none on Sunday.
So if you look at where there is an advantage, it's for the Ravens defense, which is consistently holding teams to a lot fewer points. They give up 18.1. The Saints give up 25.2. And the reason for that is the Ravens' run defense is giving up 84.5 yards, and the Saints are giving up 114.7 or 0.8. So those stats convince me that the Ravens will win this game, and will win this game convincingly, and they will win this game by making Drew Brees one-dimensional, throwing the entire game, and I don't think that will work. Give me the Ravens.
All right. So there you have it. Thanks again to Dolphin316 for his amazing research that he does for us as an unpaid. We're unpaid too. So
there'll be a piece coming out on that very soon.
Call Chris Berman. He needs help.
Thank you all.
See you next week.
Please leave some comments. Please subscribe if you like us.